So Lee, I have to follow that act. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Great scheduling. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much. And I feel like back in the Kennedy White House, Pablo Casals playing, and Jackie Kennedy, and inspired a nation about music. And I think it was Kennedy that said, "I haven't seen so much talent since Thomas Jefferson, the first Secretary of State, dined alone." Here in the State Department, thank you, sir, for the great work you're doing for the nation. Public service is the most noble profession. And, I also want to thank the Kennedy Center, sir, for all the work. And the Grammys. I mean, Lee and I, we got this thing together, man. I just want to take you a little bit back in time. And my dad was a World War II veteran, and the Cold War piece to music is really inspiring as well. But on November 13th, 2015, I remember when I was chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, now in Foreign Affairs, Paris came under an attack. It was coordinated by ISIS. 4 bombs were detonated and several gunmen assaulted innocent civilians, claiming the lives of 130 people and injuring so many others. And just before this attack, I was actually in Paris and Brussels, warning them about the threat from ISIS, and about the terror threats in America and Europe. But you fast forward, shortly after that deadly evening, I saw this performance, and it was U2. I mean, I love music, right? And the secretary and I play guitar, but we're going to spare you that performance tonight after what we've seen tonight. But it was one of the most uplifting, inspiring moments, because it was sort of this collective condemnation against global terrorism expressed through music in a peaceful way. And Bono shared a message during that concert that inspired me. He said, quote, "Love over fear. My prayer," he says, "our prayer, that we refuse to be a monster in order to defeat a monster." And he was right. He said, we choose love over fear. And it resonated in Paris, and it resonated in Europe, and it impacted people and the way they saw this radicalism. It was powerful to me, the influence of music, and it was that attack and the collective power of music which led me to introduce the Peace Through Music Diplomacy Act. That act recognizes the unique and important role that musicians play in promoting peace globally, while also acknowledging the U.S. music industry for its cultural contributions. And that's what Lee's office does. And tonight we've been brought together by mutual love of music and the arts, and their ability to promote unity, peace, and freedom, and our efforts to use music as a tool to help spread peace throughout the globe. President Kennedy, I think, said it best when he said, quote, "Art knows no national boundaries. Genius can speak at any time, and the entire world will hear it and listen." So true. And when it comes to diplomacy, soft power is important. And that's when soft power fails, that's when we go to war. It is the job of this man, the Secretary of State, and I work with him to make sure we don't do that. But soft power is critical. And there's no better way to influence that than the arts. Music is transformational. It's a universal language. As the first artist talked about, he can go anywhere in the world and people understand, music. It carries a tremendous amount of power and emotion. We have the most capable military in the world. But drones and weapons alone, as I've said to the Grammys many times, cannot kill a hostile ideology. And as we witness the rise of aggressive nation states who reject democracy and promote tyranny, like Mr. Putin in Ukraine, we must use all of our diplomatic tools to preserve the promise of democracy, including our artists and musicians and our culture. Now it's my great honor, and I talked to Bono, after the invasion of Ukraine, and I told him about the story that inspired me in Paris to pass this bill. You have to play with Zelensky in Ukraine. And you know what? He played in a train station with Zelensky. I'll never forget it. And it sent shockwaves around the world. He's an extraordinary musician, human being. He uses his voice and his music to advance peace and prosperity around the world. And I'm proud to call him my friend. He wishes he could be here today, but he's got this little Las Vegas thing going with the spear. And I can't wait to see that. But with that, please welcome Bono.